Hello. Um, Today we're going to do some sitting meditation. So go ahead and find a comfortable seat. Um, you can practice sitting. You can also do laying down or standing up, whatever suits you in your practice today. I'm going to be cueing us through a seated practice. Um, Yeah, so go ahead and get comfortable. I'm going to read a little excerpt from this book called Decoding the Tao, Nine Lessons in Taoist Meditation. And this book is written by Tom Bizio, who is a teacher of mine in Qigong and other Chinese medical therapies, as well as a strong teacher of some of my teachers. So, yeah, I've been going through this book a lot, and it's very much centered on the breath. And So these meditations that I have been offering, I tend to do conscious breathing, and I feel I've been kind of trying to ask myself recently, why am I so interested in this practice, and what is it doing for me? And just why am I practicing, I think is the thing. Because I guess realistically, meditation can happen when you're doing anything in your life. So why sit and practice in this sort of way? So I was just re-referencing this book with that question. And I stumbled upon in the chapter about um, this Chinese term, yang sheng, which is like means like nourishing life somewhat. So these are methods for nourishing life, longevity methods from the from Taoist practice. So there's a little excerpt on regulating the emotions. Emotions are natural and part of what makes us human beings. But if the emotions tend too much in one direction or teeter back and forth between extremes, they can cause illness and damage the qi slash breath. He uses qi breath interchangeably here. I won't get so into that concept though. The qi breath and shen, which the shen can be translated into like heart mind or spirit in Chinese medicine, kind of can think of it as like it's a very also another big concept to break down, but the shen we can think of as like our consciousness in some ways, that which illuminates our experience, which was, as we know, as practitioners of meditation or yoga or whatever you practice, how clouded our shen can be, the lens in which we see and perceive the world. So he's saying that the emotions, that they teeter back and forth or they tend too much one way, can cause illness and damage actually the chi breath and then the shen. Developing a positive and relaxed attitude to the vicissitudes of life can do a great deal to keep the body harmonious and healthy. Studies of healthy and active centenarians in China have shown that a large component of their longevity and vigor is due to a relaxed mental attitude and appreciation of natural beauty, painting, singing, music, and art. A famous saying puts it simply: look forward, one thinks one possesses one thing, but lacks another, that they are short of this and that. Step back, one finds one can lead an easy life just by eating this bowl of porridge and wearing this garment. So I'm going to read one more paragraph, but just to sort of break that down, I thought that that was a nice thing to share because it kind of talks about how if we can kind of bring our awareness into the moment and not just to like, ooh, let's like live in the moment and like it's almost like a very hip like concept, but actually to practice, to try to do that, wow. That's just been blowing my mind recently. Sometimes just like looking around, and it's a really good practice too. Just sometimes before you meditate or while you're meditating, you can open your eyes and look around and be like, okay, I'm just sitting here. I'm here right now. So sometimes this is why meditation can be helpful because we're taking away, purposely taking away some of the distractions in the world that so easily capture our attention, which are necessary to capture our attention. And we can practice coming into the moment just by this like simple, less stimulating experience of sitting, which, as we know as well as practitioners, that sitting and meditation can also be very stimulating. So anyway, just a little shout out to this like coming into the moment situation. And then I'll read one more paragraph. Um, so he says the normal functioning of the body is achieved through the orderly motions of the chi breath, As it moves up, goes down, moves in and out, opens and closes, gathers and stores. These actions are collectively referred to as the qi dynamic in traditional Chinese medicine. When the qi dynamic becomes disordered or obstructed, it can result in congestion, stagnation, blockage, as well as excessive closure or opening and excessive raising or lowering. This in turn can lead to a wide variety of somatic and/or psychospiritual symptoms. So I share that as well because the qi dynamic is also another big concept that I won't get into explaining in this video, but he's talking about the different movements and the different actions of qi in the body. So qi had a little, I don't know, technical difficulty, but anyway, with the qi dynamic, as I was mentioning, like understanding what qi is in the body. When students have been asking me lately, I have been asking them to feel into their body and sort of try to experience qi instead of too much thinking about the qi. But on one level that my teacher describes it as at the it's the smallest functional unit of potential in the body. And so we can think of chi as, I like thinking of it or feeling it as like the spark, like the initiator, but in a lot of ways too, it's the sustainer. It moves things and allows things to function in their natural way. So there chi, there are different movements in the body, there are different actions that our organs do um, that obviously our muscles do, these different aspects of our body. Um, have like different functions, right? And so the chi dynamic is the thread, the the I was gonna say impetus. I don't know if that's even a word, but the generator in a lot of ways that allows for that movement and that cohesion also to be present. And so I say all of this because he's mentioning that um, a lot of times this chi dynamic can be disrupted due to like emotional disruption. I guess they go hand in hand. And so uh, I reminded me of like why I sit, or at least at this point in my practice, a lot of it is to digest my experience as well as doing other physical practices. Like I love doing yoga and qigong, walking, hiking, biking, these sorts of things. They help my body really kind of like digest all that's happening because it's a lot to be present with all of the time. So that's why we're going to get into our conscious breathing practice so that we can further get to know our chi breath, our how it is today in this moment, and then hopefully as we step off the cushion or the mat or whatever you're sitting on or laying on, bringing that out into like our experience in the world. Maybe it'll be helpful. Okay, so go ahead and find your seat and let's just take that moment to look around the room a little bit. I get this practice from my teacher Emily, who is a somatic experience coach practitioner, and it's called orienting. So you can just go ahead and look around your space and just, although you've been in it probably many a times, just seeing what's around, what are the colors, what's the light like, and just noticing like, okay, here's my body, maybe even looking at your body, and then noticing whatever you're sitting on. And then as you're ready, we can go ahead and close down the eyes and placing the hands wherever feels comfortable. I'll play around with placing them on my knees or just stacked on top of each other on top of my feet. You can raise your palms up or have them facing down. And then from here, as you're finding your seat, let's go ahead and before we bring our awareness to the breath, let's first just do a little bit of a check-in with ourselves in this moment. So go ahead and bring your awareness into the body. And we'll just do a little gentle body scan just to guide us through. So go ahead and bring your awareness into your feet. and your legs and your pelvis. So let's go ahead and bring the awareness into the lower body, feeling the points of contact between the body and the floor or whatever's supporting you. And just notice how the tissues are receiving that support, how your body, your mind, your spirit, your consciousness is receiving that support. From there, go ahead and bring your awareness into the abdomen. Not just the front, but also the back. So, the thoracic lumbar region of the spine, or, um, you know, upper middle lower back, the spine, however you want to say, but just feeling sort of the three-dimensional aspect of the abdomen, the trunk. Coming up into the ribs, chest, and then the shoulders. The invitation here is to allow the lower body to receive that support. And then from there, allow the spine to sort of grow out of that support with a slight raising of the crown of the head. And then again, relaxing the shoulders down and feeling that support of the ribs, the rib cage, the spine. And then feeling that connection between the back and the hands through the arms. Placing the hands in a way that feels comfortable or intentional. And then let's bring the awareness into the face. Oh, the face. Just noticing your jaw, your cheeks, your eyes, eyebrows, forehead, ears, head. We have muscles on our scalp that can actually, get tense. So just reminding the head that it's connected to the body and supported by the ground as well. I invite you to soften around the cheeks, the jaw, the eyes, as much as feels feasible. And then let's take about 5 or so breaths here just to feel the wholeness of the body. Just we went and shined our awareness on different parts of the body. But go ahead and practice trying to bring your awareness, shine your awareness on the whole of your being at one time. So experiencing the body as a cohesive whole here for just a few breaths, and hopefully even beyond. But let's just intentionally go there for a few breaths. Okay. And from here, let's begin to also notice any sort of feeling or emotional tone that we have now in this moment. Just noticing how you feel. Any certain sensations that come with that feeling that let you know you feel that way. And we might think we feel one way, and then, at least for me, I can drop into my body and it's like a totally kind of different experience than what I thought. So let's be open to being surprised and just being curious, like how things really are right now. on that emotional sort of level, and not to get so lost in maybe the narrative of it or the depth, but just feeling it, just noticing how you feel. Like for me, just to give an example, I feel like slightly nervous, slightly awkward teaching maybe, and I do feel it like in my chest and my upper back feels maybe a little tight. Um, and so I'm coming into that understanding with while also still feeling my seat on the ground and trying to come into it with still understanding and feeling the whole um, expansion of my whole body. Nothing wrong with feeling nervous. And then from there, let's bring the awareness to the mind. We won't be here for very long, but just noticing for a moment, like who or what is on your mind. I had this urge to say, like, what are the voices in your head saying? Sounds so weird, right? But of course, not all of our minds sound the same, or speak the same, or present the same. But just noticing, like, what is the nature of your thoughts? What's the tone, the frequency? Again, just coming into this practice of just knowing, this practice of being with how things are. And from there, let's bring the awareness to the breath. So just noticing where you first, or at least, or maybe most obviously feel the breath. How do you know you're breathing? Is it out of your nostrils, in the chest, or the belly? Getting curious about the cadence of the breath, the depth. And I enjoy this conscious breathing practice because I think this is simple but difficult, but there's no need to change the breath, but rather just to bring our awareness to it. So I've been talking a lot, and I'm not going to say much more besides just reminding us to come back to the breath. We'll be here for about 5 more minutes, and the practice is to bring the awareness back to the breath. Sure, it's great to maintain that awareness, but more often than not, we get a little distracted thinking about what's next or why we're even doing this or whatever the mind is saying. But it's not about shoving the mind away, but rather just redirecting your awareness to the breath. Practicing what Tom was writing about in the beginning, in the book that I read from, about bringing ourselves into this present moment. And then through this conscious breathing practice, we can help to free up our chi dynamic. We can help to move some of that stagnation just by allowing the breath to be seen, to be felt, and to move however it wants to move. So we'll be here for about 5 more minutes practicing this conscious breathing. If the mind has wandered, go ahead and Gently bring it back to the breath. Again, noticing where the mind is, the awareness. What are you noticing? And go ahead and bring the awareness back to the breath if the mind has wandered. Let's have about another minute here. For this last minute, let's continue with the conscious breathing. And while you notice your breath, I invite you to simultaneously notice um, your seat making contact with whatever is supporting you, and just noticing, feeling your whole body and the breath that is moving and nourishing the whole body. So, sort of paying attention to two things at once. However, they're completely intertwined, if not of the same essence. So, let's bring in that sort of intention for this last minute, and I'll let you know when it's time to come up and out. All right, as you're ready, let's just take a couple clearing breaths together to end. So, as you're ready, take a breath in through the nose and exhale, side out of the mouth. Two more like that. Inhale in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Again, inhale in through the nose. Exhale, side out. Okay. Slowly begin to open the eyes if they're not already open. And again, I encourage you to just take a moment to look around your space, sort of reorienting to how things are now, although they might look exactly the same. But I think it's actually, I've noticed in my practice, a good thing to do um, to um, reorient and reorient before and after practicing. Just noticing, like taking that second, not to just like get up and scurry off to the next thing. If you have that luxury of taking some time, I think it's a good thing. So thank you for watching this video. If you've made it all the way through, and yeah, I'll be back again soon with something else to offer. So I think you know the deal at this point, but all of my offerings are donation based and freely offered. So if you would like to donate, my donation will be in the email. Okay, sending lots of love.